And it's not necessarily seeing where they fit. Hold on. Sorry, I had to accept that. It's not necessarily seeing where they fit in the puzzle exactly, but knowing that they are a part of the puzzle. I can just like see it when I meet someone, when I speak to someone, when I like feel them. I'm like, all right, I know that you're a significant piece in this thing, and I can see that. And I may not know exactly what it is, but I can see it. So yeah, that's what it is for me. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, absolutely. The puzzle master. Love that.
The puzzle master.
Right on. Thank you, Mr. Derek. All right, well let's drop it over to Jacob. What do you think, bro?
I don't know if you call it more of a blessing or a curse, but the unbridled ability to just see things how they really are. I mean, that kind of sounds pretty generic, but kind of being able to see through people's masks easily,
Mm.
kind of getting to know people kind of too quick, too easy kind of thing. Um, it feels good. I mean, I like to help people, but it does get a bit overbearing at sometimes.
Yeah, nice to see through the veil and see people's intentions. That is a good gift to have. Thank you for sharing. Well, Miss Jamie, what do you think?
So I'd say my spiritual gift is being a holder of distinctions, and distinctions being key places or even tools and places in which you can stand to look at life from a totally different perspective that then opens something up, makes something available. My purpose is like bridging linear thinking to spirit's grand design. And so that's what it looks like. I've spent my life, especially the last 10 years or so, collecting distinctions from all kinds of different work and program transformative learning that I've done. And as I assimilate all these pieces, I see a much bigger picture. And it is not a linear process, but we treat it like it is, like we're climbing the mountain. If we keep going, we'll get there. There's actually a shit ton of mountains, and there's all kinds of peaks and views on all those different mountains. And I just like to share all those peaks and views because in different places people stand, they suddenly see like a whole viewscape available to them that wasn't there on their mountain and their one little path.
That is a great way to put it. Nice to be able to see the field for sure. That's awesome. All right, we'll move it over to Amanda.
Hey, Kevin, this is a great question. I feel like I find myself asking myself this question all the time. I feel like it's an ongoing process of asking myself, what is it that is being developed? What is it that has always been there? What have I been intentionally, focusing on? And I have a lot of things that I could say, but I think the one thing I will say is that I know how people feel around me. I know how people grow around me, and what typically ends up coming out of people's mouths is that there is a there is like a flourishing that happens over there that is sort of uncanny. It's like an allowance of big dreams, confidence, whatever. It's really just like a reflection of the most beautiful parts of them that I feel like I get to do that. I get to just be a space of that. And for each person, I really feel like it's different. There's patterns I can identify, but it really does feel like a reflection of whatever is beautiful in them. I get to just notice and acknowledge it. And if I can do that, it gets to grow. And it just is like work as not just as a light worker, but a light wielder, someone who is like intentionally practicing with light. And yeah, and lightness occurs in all kinds of ways. It occurs in humor. It occurs in like feeling safe. It occurs in just all of a sudden, you know, like feeling like, oh wow, I can do that. I didn't even know I had the confidence to do that. Anyway, so it's like somewhere in that realm is what I would say I've noticed a pattern in.
That's awesome. You got the master key to open up the hearts of the people. That is great. I love that so
I
much.
like the way you put that. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, Damon, what is your gift? What do you think?
Well, I'd say my gift is something that well, it comes out of perseverance and curiosity and necessity. And so out of many years of working on understanding myself and working my way out of certain traumatic patterns that I developed early on, I came to a point of utter failure. And that opened the door to another insight that I've been working to develop for the last 15 years or so. So it's so I'd say my gift now is an understanding of how humans work and also of how to undo the stuck or contracted places or patterns that we all have acquired from our families and culture and personal traumas and so on. So developed, I think, some really skillful, rapid ways of creating practical change. So that's what I have now.
All right, that's awesome. The master architect building the bridges.
That's my Myers-Briggs type architect.
Okay, that makes sense. Awesome. All right, Mr. Kent Kaiser.
I would the first thing that came to mind was my empathy and understanding. I am a huge empath, and I would also say creativity and encouraging other goes a long way. This was a tough one for me. It was a good one. So yeah, I'm still gonna stew on it a bit more. So thank
All
you.
right, that's good though. The empathetic creative designer. I'm just
Yeah.
designing names for everybody. All right, Zach G. What's it gonna be?
I see you, bro. You're reflecting back to everybody, creating these archetypes.
Learn from the best, bro.
Thank you. Yeah. So, like y'all, I think I have a few. But the one I might claim here right now is that I am a weaver. I would call it a weaver, specifically with masculine and feminine energy. I have this ability to touch, taste, sense, smell, manipulate, and restore threads of energy. And this is the most like apparent if you dance with me. I can basically see your soul's blueprint when I'm dancing with you. And I like together I can be in direct contrast to whatever your field is, and we can create something that is more beautiful than the two of us combined. And in that, the secondary gift that I think I have is this power of articulation, so weaving stories and words. So I really like to freestyle rap. And I think that because the gift is so kind of interesting and it's hard to define, I've really worked at my definitions and defining processes and defining things. And definitions create reality. So I try to make mine as clear, transparent, and succinct as possible.
All right, I can sure tell. All right, we'll call you the energy weaver. Like, what do you think? You like that? Okay.
He's not lying. I danced with him and he told me I needed to work on my feminine. So
Huh.
I did say that, and you do.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get a dance in, Zach. Awesome. Thank you, Zach. All right, Mr. Mateo, what you got for us?
I think I gathered what you guys are talking about, but just to be clear, we're talking about our spiritual powers or superpowers.
That's right.
Yes.
One of my superpowers is I get shit done.
Go.
Another one of my superpowers is I'm very connected to my body's need to move, which can sometimes be a like ADHD sort of energy, but I've learned to channel it in a way where I'm hyper connected to how I'm holding myself in space at all times, and that translates into a way of being that I think is one of my big powers.
That makes complete sense. All right. The master builder, we'll call you. You doing shit. All right. And we've got Ricardo just joined. We are just sharing our spiritual superpowers and wanted to hear what you got to think. If you're no worries, you can just listen in. But yeah, no, for me, I would say one of my spiritual gifts is my spiritual superpower, probably spreading the word. I definitely feel like I, like Zach, have an articulate ability to be able to, share a mission with people that lights their heart on fire and gets them excited about making something happen. So it sounds like we've got the dream team right here. And I think if we put all these spiritual gifts together, we can really make something happen. And so that's really kind of what I want to talk about is, what is the importance of tribe and how can we come together to, create this new earth that I think we all very much want. And so I'm just going to kind of open up the conversation and we can talk a little bit about, what is tribe? How do we find our tribe? How do we create our tribe? And how do we bring it into the world and reclaim it in this modern world where it's very much been lost?
Damn, can I go?
You sure can, buddy.
Okay. When I think of tribe, I think of ancestral leadership. It's the best way I think I could describe it. Everything that we are is the amalgamation of all of the previous generations before us. Every wound, every gift, every talent, every skill, every single thing that we are is from the past. And it's a buildup that leads right here into this moment, into this life. And it's the same thing for the future, because we are the new ancestors. We are the future ancestors, and every single thing that we heal right now, we heal for the next 7, 10, 20 generations. And I don't really think that there is any other higher purpose than that. To educate children, to educate yourself, most importantly. But when you're with a tribe, it becomes a way of life. And I think the most important thing that we can do is connect with people on a real level, on an honest level, on a radically honest level, and push each other to do the work and to do the things that we need to do to let go of the things that don't serve us. And it's so much easier when you have people there that love you and that have your back and that can motivate you to be your true self and to step into your power, to do the things that you're meant to do. And I mean, shit, what is tribe? Tribe is connection. Tribe is being not a fragment of the universe withering away by itself, lonely, cold, afraid, timid. It's the opposite. It's being a part of the flow of the universe, of the wholeness, of the oneness of everything that is and could be. And it's fucking magical. Let's go.
Nailed it, bro. Wow. That's pretty epic, bro. And honestly, like before I called Derek on that fateful night and we began this tribe project, I was exactly that. I was, disconnected and alone. And just through, having some morning meetings with some brothers, hopping on a couple calls like this, like I can feel the fire start to burn again in my heart, and I think we go through seasons where, we have to become isolated to really dive deep into, our own hearts and mind and go through that sort of, quote unquote monk journey. And then coming back by the fire and finding your tribe to rise back into, your true self, like Jamie was talking about earlier, I think is a very important thing to be able to do. But would love to hear Jamie's thoughts on that. I know you were talking a little bit about that process earlier.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go straight to the question and tell you what I'm present to. Yeah, so like one of the things that's really distinct for me around tribe is like a sacred space of listening. Like a world around me that's holding space for not only who I am today, but who I'm becoming, and even the space of like who I became, right? We are this generation's ancestors. Flash forward a little bit and look back, there's a whole journey there. And so like people like Amanda in my life, like she's saved my ass so many times and I've saved her ass. And you know what? We are so balanced. There is not a drop in the whole entire ocean that's displaced. And to have that kind of listening, that kind of support, that kind of kinship, like it is sacred, it is divine, and it is a phenomenon that is created out of choice, our choice to participate with one another and hold space for one another and be that for one another. And when you find other people that are willing to be that for you and they're willing to be that for them, man, like game on, you can do anything.
That is so true. Yeah, there's nothing more powerful than whenever we all come together. Absolutely. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I just hear Derek's voice in my head going, let's go.
I mean, yeah, I'll speak on some. Oh, there was a long period of my life where tribe wasn't a priority for me, which I think was partially due to how much wounding I had surrounding it. I'm a weird fucking guy, and I did not fit into a lot of cliques and groups in like high school, middle school, and so I didn't really have, and I also didn't really feel like I fit into my own family. And so, yeah, for a lot of my life, I went at it alone. And, I just tried to do my thing, I cultivated my space, cultivated my peace, worked on myself, fell in love with like psychology, fell in love with a few women, had some horrible and some amazing experiences. And then I can't even exactly remember the moment, but I just had this realization where I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this like without people. I'm not going to be able to live my fullest life. I'm not going to be able to create my fullest gift, like projects. I'm not going to be able to serve without community. And that's when I started, this past year, even 2023 was the year I've traveled more than any other year. I went out of the country for the first time. I probably was on at least like maybe once a month. I was in a different city and different place, grounding and anchoring tribe. And now I feel like I have friends all over the world. And, I think part of it has come from, like, a lot of people would say that like money solves your problems, but I'm really firm in belief that it's people that solve the problems. Because if you give me money and you ask me to solve a problem, I'm going to immediately give it to a person. I'm not going to the money can't do a thing, but when you give it to somebody, it like bestows this creative problem solving force. So I'm like, you can have a million bucks and feel lonely, but if you've got a million people, I think you'll never go hungry. And so, yeah, how to bring people in alignment with their tribe. I mean, that's partially what our goal is here, right? We want to serve as a space that people can leap and find find people that are their people. And I think the inclusivity factor is so important. The non-judgment factor is so important. The facilitators and space holders are so important, and giving people a chance to step into their gifts so they can define their own spiritual gifts, because we didn't get that in school. We all have zones of genius that are radically different. And I think that in community is the space you actually get a chance to practice that in a way that can hold you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think a lot of times, like we just feel so traumatized and excluded from the group that we never truly open up to our true abilities. And it's only whenever we find, a tribe of supportive people can we truly let go of our guard and truly figure out, like, who are we down to our core. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Zach. What you got, Damon?
Well, when Derek was talking, the word amplification came to my mind, that the tribe is a way of amplifying who we are and what our potential is. And then Jamie, you talked about listening, sharing. And I've been thinking of that lately, that, I spent a lot of my life pretty much on my own, because, like you said, I didn't fit in with things. But then recently, in the last year, I've decided to change my direction toward connecting with people. And that's been happening more and more and more. And so I was thinking about, okay, tribe. How do you make tribes? I've been part of groups before. And so traditional tribes, you're born into them. And you just absorb the beliefs and the patterns and so on. And it's just who you are, right? There's no effort involved, really, to become part of the tribe, except, do the things that those people do. Or other tribes are sort of around a shared belief or something like that, or a shared project endeavor, but those don't really last in my experience. People evolve beyond them, or the outer situation changes and they become irrelevant, and then people drift away. So I was thinking, okay, what kind of initiation, that seems like an appropriate word. What kind of initiation could we do that would create that sense of connection that, we're all off on our own trajectories. Individualism is a big deal in Western culture. So we're all, extremely individual and unique. So what could bring us together at a deep enough level that would really, that would transcend that individuality without denying it, while empowering it, while empowering our gifts. And so what I've been thinking of is deep listening, like deeply listening, like maybe Jamie, you and Amanda have done this, but how many of us have been able to really tell our story and be heard completely? How many of us have that kind of connection with somebody who can just be there and hear every fucking detail and be there and feel it and know it? And so I'm thinking that could be a practice, that could be something that we could do, that I would love to do. I would love to do for other people, and develop my own capacity for connection, my own empathy, my own ability to have insight and feel another person, and to develop parts of myself that are undeveloped through other people's experience, and to be heard at that level, because nobody has ever done that for me. And I think that could be something so powerful, in traditional cultures, there's an initiation, at least for, into adulthood, right? For both the boys and the girls into becoming men and women. And they're often intense. They are intense, right? Some of them are incredibly intense, if you've read about what they do. And so it's going through the fire and it's coming out on the other side. So anyway, that's my idea of what would be a possibility for us. And I think that in the process, we would release a lot of trauma. I can contribute something that would help with that in the course of these conversations. And And I think just being seen and known and heard is a lot of what we don't get in this culture. You know, where, you know, in my experience, most people are neglected by their parents to some degree or other, if not abused. And the culture certainly doesn't promote seeing you in your true nature. You know, it's more about what you can do and what you can buy and consume and so on. So anyway, that's my idea.
I could not agree more, honestly. Like I only share to a person's ability to listen, and as soon as I feel like they're not, I don't share. And so oftentimes I don't get a chance to share anything. And it's funny that you said that, because I was actually wanting to do like one of these next things is like a story time where maybe we break off into pairs, into separate groups, and we're able to just like fully share one another's story, just because I think that's, like you said, it's such a healing process of just like really sharing everything that you are and have been through, and being able to let go of it and be heard and seen and rise above it. So I definitely think that we can make that happen. That sounds like an incredible thing.
Can I boomerang a little something off of that real quick?
Please.
Yeah, so Damon, I don't know if it's your hairstyle or not, but I'm gonna tell you this story. So my best friend has alopecia and she has no hair. And for 10 years now, we do this thing where if one of us is struggling, we'll text the other and it's like, hey, can you hold my hair for a minute? And what that running joke is like really a request for, can you hold space while I just like verbally vomit the words that link up to all of these body sensations that are just like running through my system. Like I actually need to release the energy out of my body. And so when we hold each other's hair, it's not like we're holding space to listen to this person. We're really like listening for this person, like holding the space to get all that out until like there's room for some air to come in and take a breath, and then actually start to generate who we really are, to kind of get ourselves back. So it could be fun to do something like that where we hold one another's hair. I know that doesn't really fit to all the guys, but my best friend has no hair, so it fits either way. It's just a fun way to kind of look at it, where it's not significant. We're not trying to fix each other's problems. We're not trying to go down our own rabbit holes, but to actually vent out intentionally, not ongoingly in these like little spurts. You say a little bit of this or a little bit, but like hold space, just dump it out and like get to where you can take a breath again. Yeah, it's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm not trying to be sexist here, but I think women like they get that a lot more. I don't think men ever really have much of a space to be able to share like that. At least you know, I really don't. So Damon, me and you can hold each other's hair, bro.
Hey, look at it.
Yeah, I think women just create it.
Right. Do you have something, Mateo? What you got?
We want to hear your beautiful voice.
You're muted.
Unmute.
There we are. Hello, hello. Yo, I don't know if you guys have brought this up yet, but speaking on tribe, this is just coming through. I think honoring is a very important aspect. And I don't know if they've told everyone here, but Jamie, we were thinking about you on this morning call that we were having, as we were thinking of people in this tribe that we really honor and appreciate and like the way they're showing up. And as you were just speaking there, I'm like, yes, like I want to put the spotlight on you and just highlight the what you're bringing to these conversations. Because I think that's a big part of what makes tribe. It's like this seeing in each other, this honoring of each other. So she's our first like gold star in the community. We all decided this morning we're gonna kind of spotlight different people as we go, because I think that's an important part of building tribe. And you guys are all dropping some like amazing stuff right now. So yeah, I look forward to honoring all of y'all as we go forward.
Let's go, Jamie. Woo!
Thank you, Jamie, for showing up on all the calls and dropping all these gems on us. I appreciate what you bring to the group.
You guys are causing it. I'm just reflecting it. I just show up, I'm holding a mirror. You guys are being big, bright lights and you're shining it out there. And I just hold up this little mirror and you're like, oh man, look how awesome that you.
Well, just know this, Jamie. When this group has 1 million people in it, you were the first gold star. So you get to hold on to that. Yeah, that's all. I just think honoring is an important aspect of what builds the connection that makes us feel like we're really willing to give to each other.
Absolutely, man. I'm so glad this is possible online. I honestly never would have thought, I've never been into Zooms. I've never had the attention span, but this is definitely these are the most interesting conversations I have every day. Every day we do these.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling some type of way right now. Like my heart, just from what you said to Jamie Mateo, just for like putting her on blast in the best way, my heart is like, damn. And through a screen too. You know
I got
what
a
I'm
couple
saying?
tears.
Through a screen. Yeah, I feel like I'm like, it's getting a little watery up in here.
Derek's
You know
crying
what I
over
mean?
there in the dark.
Bro, why can't we see your face right now? What's going on?
Yeah, we need to see the light.
Hey guys,
What are you hiding?
Epic
I
moment.
was taking a walk and then it was
Don't hide the
cold.
tears, bro. Don't hide the tears.
Nah, man, I'm out.
I just wanted to say this tribe is absolutely amazing. Just slaying it. This is amazing. It's I've needed something like this whole week, and here we are. So this just energizes me so much, and you guys are all hitting out on the nail. Just yeah, and community tribe is really big for me, and I haven't had a tribe for the last like month or two, and I've been really down on myself and just haven't tribe really lifts me up, and I haven't had a tribe just showing up to this shows me that I have a tribe. So and I'm just going to be doing a lot more groundwork, and I really want to start creating more in-person community and tribe, because I don't have any of that right now. So yeah, this call is amazing, and yeah, I'm just when people come together, opportunities multiply, and it's amazing. Just community is everything to me. So thank you.
Let's fucking go, Kent.
Oh yeah.
Let's
Glad
go.
you're here. Awesome.
And if anybody wants to do a brotherhood call anytime, I'd be willing to host that. I've been doing men's work, men's circles for like 2 to 3 years, and I'm ready. So I'm down.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll go. So I think it's so amazing that where we're coming from now is a place where we know what tribe isn't. Because for me personally, I'll speak to myself, but I see a lot of head nods. Like we lived life not in tribe, and I think that just keeps echoing. We know what it feels like to be alone, and like you guys said, cold or isolated. One day I was channeling, and something came through that was with regards to loneliness. It was like a just before we go, with regards to loneliness. It's you who sets yourself aside.
Ooh.
And I was like, it's true. And even though, Jamie said was that women created the space to like hold your hair or whatever. I've spent a lot of my life, my early life in a very masculine space, You know, it's only very recent that I don't know, embraced my feminine. And so that meant that I suffered alone and dealt with things alone all the time, because I had to hold a lot of space for a lot of people. And there was no trembling lip, quivering, nothing. I couldn't. There was nothing that allowed for that kind of space. So in that, I know what it's not. I know what it is not to experience aloneness. And when I'm defining community, I have a place to start. You know, I think we are all on a hero's journey, right? And part of our journey is into community, our hero's journey into community. And the community itself is also on a hero's journey. The community itself has to figure out who it is, inviting people in, what the space is going to be as the guide, as the point of contrast, as the mirror, as any part of the entire journey that one person, and hence we are all going through at the same time. Like Derek, you felt that the feels for Jamie receiving acknowledgement because there's connection. There is no distance. In a place where there is no distance, you are right there with her in that connection. And so I think that it's worth continually exploring and continually arriving at new answers for what is tribe, because you are going to keep experiencing what it isn't. And that's the celebration, that you can start there. And for me personally, I think that whenever, like what tribe is when your heart feels like it's met people that feels like your heart, you know, like, wow, I feel like these people, whoa, like I didn't even know people like me existed. This feels awesome. And I think what that is it's just like meeting other people that are also other souls that are also traveling along the same fractal pattern as you. And you've met another fractal family member and you're like, oh my gosh. It's a beautiful thing to be able to come together and then remember how it is and how good it is to actually participate. That's what it's about. It's about showing up and participating.
That's so
Question.
good.
Yeah. Wow.
I got a question, Amanda. Are you a fire sign?
I'm a Scorpio, so water.
Well, that was fire.
Hey,
That was absolute fire. Absolute fire. And I gotta just speak to the loneliness part, because that was like what got me on this journey from the very start, was the loneliness. And like my whole mission was always and still is to be a factor in curing the loneliness on the planet, because it's like this stigma that we don't even want to like say. We don't want to be like, oh, I'm lonely or whatever, because like I don't know, there's so many things attached to it, like, oh well, maybe I'm not good enough and that's why I'm lonely, or maybe I'm not cool enough and that's why I'm lonely, and like all that shit. And as you were talking, it was just like I just kind of saw this kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it, like bars, I guess, like little batteries or something. I don't know, I'm butchering it, but the opposite of loneliness is tribe. That's what I can see and what I can feel. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the polar opposite. Just like opposite of love is fear, the opposite of loneliness is tribe. And it's simple, but it's also like, damn, of course, like of course. And it's overlooked. And I really feel that community is the cure for everything. Like, I think it is the cure for everything, because it doesn't matter what you're going through. I feel like if I have my people beside me, I could go through anything. So I just wanted to chime in and say that. But yeah.
Thanks, Derek.
And I love that you use the word fractal, because this has been I found that for me is like the best word that I can possibly use to describe what community is all about. And because I think like our experience of life, and I also love how you were saying that community finds its purpose like in real time. And so we kind of have to like figure it out. And fractaling is this like, it's a word that allows for unity and separation to be in the same word. And there's this dance that we have to do where we come together as one. And when you do that, you find your sovereignty, you find the individuation when you come together. And then when you individuate, it allows you to come back together from a more sovereign and aligned place. And so fractaling in communities is the same way, because I think it right at the very top level, we just have one human race, and there's just one, it's just one people. But then we separated when we should have fractaled. And now everybody thinks that there's like a bunch of tribes and we should be at war and this and that, when in reality, we're all still a part of the greater whole. And I love that community allows for a coming togetherness and an individuation all within the same space.
I love that I have like this little visual of kaleidoscopes. You know, kaleidoscopes are all these little fractal pieces of stained glass. And while each is unique and beautiful and distinct in itself, it's when they come together that you give it a spin as a whole entire different view.
Y'all realize fractals are never ending. And if we start talking about fractals, we'll never stop talking.
That's how I feel, Derek. That was us in the car that one day, man.
I know, bro.
We were trying to work and we just stayed in the car for like 90 minutes talking about fractals outside of the place.
We love fractals. I just got a book on fractals like a month ago.
It's fascinating to think what travels on a fractal. And one day that question came to mind. It's all our energy. It's all of us. We are the fractal. And so, you know, it's just sort of the acknowledgement of it when it starts getting really fun, that the participation begins and can be a lot more fun, you know, because look how excited everybody got about fractals.
It's so exciting. It's so exciting. They're the most amazing thing ever. I mean, fractals are literally what make up everything. Like we are literally our face is the end of a fractal, but it's not the end. It's the beginning of another endless fractal that never stops going. And I mean, fucking, it never stops. Like we're the very front of creation, and then it gets flipped inside out through us, and we experience the world, but it's a fractal version of ourselves. And it's just like this, like life is an eternal, elaborate dance in the mirror, and we're just like in it, and we're also not in it because we're in like a million different dimensions at once also. And anyways, like I said, I'll keep talking. I'm gonna shut up now.
No, it's like, it feels like ecstasy when we start landing on something that feels right. And that reminds me of when Ram Dass gave Maharishi some LSD, or Maharishi took some LSD and like took a ton of it and was like, what? This is life. What are you talking about? You know, like ecstasy is so easy. It's just right there. It's right at the other end of something that just sounds like so delicious to finally start bringing distinction to. Right.
This is
I told you.
This is why like communities and even one-on-one relationships are designed the way I think you said it, like we find fractals of ourselves through the relationship with others. And so it's that process again, that it's a dance as far as I'm concerned. And so you meet that inside out inverse mirror, you know, and sometimes people really are that intense mirror, and you know, we might call them like twin flame relationships, and like they're the thing that it's like the direct flipped fractal of you, and then but it's a piece of you that's trying to call you home. And so that's why building a relationship with it is so tough sometimes, because It's like the piece of you that is the most repressed, the most suppressed, the most tough to integrate is the person that they're reflecting that to you. And so, yeah, community establishes kind of a dojo in a way, a fractal returning dojo for us to spar and dance and find pieces of ourselves through our relationships with each other.
I think one of the really big things for me about tribe, I just recently moved to rural Texas, and it's wow. And it's more difficult to find tribe here than when I was in Austin. Austin, it felt like tribe was everywhere. And here I really have to go looking for tribe and have to be a neon sign in order for people to kind of come out of the woodwork. But one of the things that tribe does for me is brings me hope that there's evolution of consciousness happening, and that there's people evolving and stepping outside of the box and stepping outside of the what's the word I'm looking? Well, I mean, matrix is the word I guess I'm going to use, and I guess that would be the definition of my tribe. But I feel that when I run into people who are thinking outside the box, who are moving in ways that are more human to human, living in more of an organic timeline, that brings me hope that we can actually create a world that I'm excited to live in. So that's one of the things that tribe does for me is bringing that level of hope.
I love that you just showed up and dropped some bombs, Meredith. And that brought up a story that I heard at this festival that I went to, and it was at the very end, and I was seeing fractals. But anyways, so he tells me the story about these gorillas who were getting, I don't know, some type of a gorilla sickness. And come to find out, all they had to do was like wash their coconuts and they wouldn't get the disease. And so one of the monkeys like figured it out and like washed his coconut, and then he showed some other monkeys and they washed their coconuts. And it was just this phenomenon where after like 51% of the monkeys in the entire world had like figured out wash your coconut, you don't die, all of the monkeys magically knew to wash their coconut. And it's like, I think it transcends to tribe, and it's like,
Or
if
maybe all the ones that didn't wash their coconut died.
that could also be true.
Based on what you're telling me here.
Through the ether, their minds were all connected, and then they just knew. And I don't know. And I think the conscious community could be the same way. I think if enough of us are on this, tribe vibe, I think it'll spread like a wildfire.
Wash your coconuts.
Yes, wash your coconuts, everybody.
That's an epic story too.
That is a really cool story. And I just wanted to add that there is a sort of a percentage of the population that if that percentage of the population acquires, say, the ability to transcend through meditation or be more playful or something like that, that it will be able to, it'll more easily elevate the entire population so that the acquisition of that knowledge can be more easily downloaded and integrated to that whole population.
Yeah, I so agree with that. As we talk about it in community, it becomes a common and digestible conversation in our society, where like in the past, those conversations were like, oh, what do we align politically, right? And we're sharing our political views, trying to, this is like that, except for it's around self-empowerment and creating clarity and finding yourself and getting shit out of the way. And I just think that the more people that wake up to it and the more that we are actively sharing it out there in the world is just going to create breakthrough after breakthrough with people that don't even know what a breakthrough is. But they're like, what is that? And that little tiny crack in their shell, they go home that night and have a dream or whatever. And then they wake up and they're like, oh, isn't that interesting? Wow, isn't that interesting? I feel a little differently, right? And it just starts to create traction like that. You never know what will actually open up another person. And I just think that the more live this conversation is out there in the world, the more opportunity there is for more people to wake up, which then just adds to the collective.
God, these conversations are sick. These are sick. And I'm just like sitting here.
Oh,
And it's
we're
like, how
healthy
many,
because we washed our coconuts.
that's what I'm talking about. How many people we got on the call? We got like 10, something like that. 10 people on the call. Everybody, we got to bring more people in this call. Because can you just imagine if this was like 100 people, 150 people, and we're talking about washing coconuts with these people? You know what I'm saying? We got to bring people into this because this is just like, I feel like we're in a room with literal fucking superheroes who are changing the world. And the more people that we reach out to, that we call in, that we bring in to this, the more impact we can all have. And I'm just like sitting here and I'm just like, more people need to hear this shit. More people need to be having these conversations on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, whatever. But like, it's just so important. I mean, literally, like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to sleep tonight now. You know what I mean? Gosh.
So I think that brings us full circle, right? Like, so doesn't that bring us back to what do we want tribe to like actually look like, right? For this conversation, like who are, yeah, that's it. Who are those people that we would want to invite into the conversation? Like, what is their spectrum of willingness to try on something new or to be exposed to some conversation that maybe they don't comprehend at first, but then you lean into, right? Like like, how do we determine who's a good fit for
You
tribe?
gotta everyday people.
Of
everyday
course,
people.
everyday people, but we want to have people that
I
are
noticed
open.
I noticed one quality for myself that I will not engage on a deeper level with people unless they have the capability to self-reflect. Self-reflection is a huge, huge, huge necessary tool to be able to engage in community. And I feel like if people have not learned that skill, like they're not really in a place to be able to play in a good way.
So can you define self-reflection? What do you mean by that?
Like the ability to hear feedback, the ability to respond to your environment based on the impact that you're having, the ability to
Change?
respond and act in a way that allows change, allows to respond to the dynamic environment that's in front of you. When someone has that mentality, like, I'm just this way, this is who I am, accept me for who I am, those kinds of people don't really work well in community.
So mutual adaptability, would that be?
Yeah.
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah, that they're willing to hear another's the impact that they're having on another, and they're willing and able to be able to respond, even if it is that, yeah, I'm not going to be able to change this one for a couple of years at least, or I'm not changing this one, and here's other things that we can agree on that would make a better situation. You know, being able to like navigate themselves enough where they can have self-reflection and an internal process to know themselves.
See, my perception could be totally off, but I feel like it's a small percentage of people who cannot be inspired to learn to self-reflect. I think most people, when they get around a certain like group dynamic, it can be very like motivating and inspiring, even if they're not naturally that type of person. But I've seen it a lot. I've seen people who just come in who I've just been like, I would have never thought that person that walked in a couple years ago would be this person that I'm looking at right now. And I've witnessed like the shifts and the changes. And I mean, I could be a fool, but I feel like literally everybody has the ability to expand, you know, and to grow and to and to shift like that, to become adaptable.
But I've lived in different communities, and there are some people who are there to be disruptive. That's their purpose. So I've learned to be, and I've run groups where, somebody has come in and their purpose was to just have attention for themselves. They were not there to participate, to contribute. And I've learned that I personally need to be a little bit ruthless about not allowing those people to wreck the community.
Oh,
Because
I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you on that. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, a small amount of contrast is necessary in order to. It's the first stage of alchemy. They go black, white, and red. And you must disrupt a little to evoke the impurities, as they call it, to the surface. And yeah, so being able to temper, in allowance of it, but then in containment of it as well. And I do think that because we do want to include essentially the whole world in our community if we could. And so it's like, yeah, so and I don't necessarily think a person being able to self-reflect, because I actually think that that's a pretty advanced skill. But so I might call that like, yeah, a branch of intellect, whereas maybe the branch of empathy is what I'm hearing you talk more about. Can you receive and listen and hear from other perspectives? So typically the number one thing I look for is how well a person receives a no, and that being like an indicator of where they're at and what they need from the community. And so this is why I enjoy dance so much, because dance, you're getting no's all the time, and you're getting a chance to practice boundaries and in the moment sovereignty about how much yes you're willing to get in any particular moment. And sometimes people really hate the no, they deflect the no, they get defensive of the no. But I think that like training people on how to say no and receive no, it may seem like a weird tangent, but I feel like that is like one of the most powerful aspects of what community teaches you, because we all want to be able to feel like we can do our own thing, but in the same room and at our own pace too.
So what would you call that?
What would I call that?
Like if you had to put a word on it, what would you call
What would I
it?
call that?
It's
What would I
like
call that?
open-minded, but it's not
Yeah, there's a
necessarily
receptiveness, but it's not quite just receptive. It's definitely a branch of empathy, but it's
Almost a
maybe
form of
malleable,
nurturing.
not quite nurturing, but
That's why I think it's
Almost
more
like a
like
form
receiving
of-
feedback. The
yeah,
ability to receive feedback.
yeah, actually, yeah, that because no is a feedback. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, but
May-
but what is that though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, let me
So
ask ChatGPT.
what I definitely it'll come up with the best answer. I think for me, what I'm getting is, willingness. And there's that baseline willingness. And, Damon, there are people in this world whose space, as a space holder that they are, is to be a chaos creator. And when they are in light, this is what brings awareness. It's ringing the bells. It's like, hey guys, we got to wake up. But when they're in their dark, when they have too much of their darkness showing, they are wanting to burn the world down. They just lit the match. They want it all to die and start all over again. That is the manifestation of a chaos creator in its light and in its dark. But there are so many other different space holders that can be, involved. And we are all in various stages of our recognizing the darkness within us. But what matters is that we are willing to choose light, that we're willing to say, I will there be light in this moment. I will myself to choose something lighter, more loving, more compassionate, more not a reaction. I want to pause for a second. Let me breathe. I just, I need a moment. Let's take 5 minutes, whatever it is, they're willing to be not hijacked by the baseline, ways that our biology will take us, that we are able to and willing to move past the darker states of reaction.
I totally agree. And that willingness is the criterion, or one of them. Yeah.
That's a good definition of vulnerability.
I was
Yeah,
gonna go back.
Viv, did you have something to say?
I'm just loving this.
What about you, Viv? I got to see your hands raised. I think you're muted.
And I'm sorry for joining late. I didn't really understand what time zone we were in. So I just heard the tail end of what we're talking about, and I'd just like to share that I'm actually going through something that might be relevant to the conversation. I literally, after a week of talking with somebody, this sounds so stupid, I actually feel like an idiot, but I realized I was being catfished by a very smart person who I became emotionally invested, and I realized that they were on one of the spiritual relationship groups that I'm in, and we're just very, very adept at playing a game that made me believe that they were invested in trying to establish a really wonderful relationship despite what they had in their past, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, bottom line is that they weren't who they said they were, and I think that they were probably like a 17-year-old in Nigeria or in Russia or somewhere. But what I'm wondering from that, as I log in and listen to you guys talking, it's sort of like in an emotional space I'm in, having gone through that right now, it's like, how do we stay in the emotional maturity that we strive to be in and that we strive to share with a new partner, and also wrestle with this idea of, can we trust everybody? Like, is that safe? Is it okay? Like, how do we just be authentically ourselves and know that someone might not be showing up authentically as themselves? Because for me right now in my process, someone who is actually authentically showing up as themselves but is flawed, I'm okay with that because I'm flawed, right? I just want to know that they are invested in the idea of emotional development, emotional intelligence, and that we're on a compatible spiritual pathway, right? That's what I want to know, because then I have hope, and I feel like there's potential there. But when there's not potential there because there is dishonesty, or there's not potential there because of some other reason, it's just disheartening. I'm sorry. I'm coming in here feeling like a little.
No, please. This is totally the
No,
space.
this is amazing. So did this just happen? Did this happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so Viv, check this out. You won't believe this shit. I got catfished for 3 years. And I don't even think Zach or Kevin know about this. But I got catfished for 3 years, and it had me so jacked up whenever I found out that I didn't even, I thought I didn't it messed up reality. I'm looking behind the shower curtains because I'm like, wow, if I was faked by this, what else am I missing? So I really feel you. I feel what you're going through. That's intense. It's such a strange thing to go through. But I do want to ask you, because you did say a lot. So I want to just ask you if you can simplify and just what is the real challenge here that you're facing?
Well, okay, so I'll just be specific. I found this person on a group that was spiritual relationships. I assumed that people I met there were working from a place of honesty and self-reflection, and that they were, even if these spiritual groups attract all types, right? People who have been doing this for a while, people who are new to it, people who are like really religious and have some dogma behind what they believe, and then those who are not, like super, maybe people who are like super metaphysical, or people who are in new age kind of stuff. Whatever, it attracts all people who consider themselves spiritual. And so that made me feel initially safer, actually, than just being out in the general world, even though it's still pretty diverse. And so I think that I opened myself up in a way that I think that I want to open myself up. And I don't want to stop opening myself up, but I feel like I don't know what to take of the life lesson, because I feel almost like this taught me that maybe I shouldn't. Like my initial reaction is that, oh my God, like even in this setting, people like, it's not what you think it is. And so yeah, and so I want to find, I don't know what your question was, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's totally okay. And thank you for opening up. And it's so fresh right now. So I can imagine that you're feeling all type of confusion and and just a little lost, and betrayed. And I can feel that, and I feel for you. And all I can tell you, as far as me going through it myself, it was, there were all the lies, all the manipulation, all the secret crazy links that this person went to make me think that they were this person, and it ruined my trust for a while as well. But I realized that it was much more stressful for me, on every single part of me, to hold on to this fear of trusting people because of one person that obviously has their own mental, things going on. And it was much more stressful, depressing, and lonely and sad. It made me closed off to keep my heart closed. And that actually my heart would be better if it was open, but also discerning, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm just gonna give a stranger at the gas station my keys, like the keys to my car, the keys to my house. It's like, no, I'm just gonna be a little bit more discerning, right? But like my best friend, someone who's earned my trust, like sure, I'll be like, sure, like you need to go to my house, go ahead, like go and grab whatever you need. It's just about the skill of discernment, and you have learned now the signs, right, that show you if someone's being dishonest, that show you if something's sketchy, and you can learn from this and use it as a growth opportunity. And the world is not full of people like that, Viv. There's so many beautiful trustworthy souls out here, and like you're in a room with them, and you can see everybody's face, right? So nobody in here is a catfish. You know what I mean? So maybe just ask them to hop on a video call with you, or something like that next time.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
This is why, well, first thing is groups like that also attract predators. Looking, because there's supposedly a high level of trust because everybody says they're spiritual or Christian or whatever. And so just by saying that, it opens the door to manipulation. So that's just one comment, but I've seen it over and over. But this is why you weren't here, Viv. But earlier I was talking about having deep conversations as almost an initiation, as almost a qualification for maybe being at a certain level of the group. Like everybody's welcome, yeah. And then there's some it would be almost like a vetting process, but also a spiritual practice and a personality development practice of going through a really deep conversation, really listening in depth to a person's life story about how they got there. And that could be could relieve a lot of trauma and a lot of assumptions that don't need to be there, and a lot of personal burdens that people have taken on and limitations. So I think for something like this to spread, like right now, we have a lot of enthusiasm. Like it's wonderful to come together and connect with people who have a similar heart space and a similar deep intention and integrity and so on. That's wonderful. But then there has to be a process. There has to be something we actually do rather than just come together and say how wonderful it is to be together. You know, that goes a certain distance, but not far enough. Okay, so that's my experience from having gone through numerous communities.
Absolutely. And that's definitely something that we want to figure out. Like, what is the process of truly building a community and coming together and supporting one another and really allowing each other's gifts to shine and to serve and to create together. And I just want to thank all of you guys for coming here and just holding space for one another as we figure out who we are and how we can best serve the world to really show up and shine as bright as we can so we can spread that fire across the world and teach everybody to wash their coconuts. And so I definitely want to be mindful of everybody's time. We've gone over about 30 minutes, but that was a beautiful 30 minutes. Viv, thank you so much for opening up to us and sharing your heart. That is the first step, is to let it out, to let it go, and know that nothing happens by accident. And that will only make you stronger. That will only allow you to become more discerning. And so always be grateful for everything that happens, no matter good or bad.
Can you give her a hug right now?
What was that?
We're gonna give her a hug right now.
Yes, absolutely. And if I actually was thinking about this, and I wanted to share a prayer with everybody just to kind of close this out. And so if you guys just want to close your eyes real quick, I just wanted to share some words with y'all. Father, Spirit, I just want to thank everyone here for coming together and being a part of this tribe. I just pray that you would fill all of our hearts and our minds and our souls with love and peace and joy. Allow us to step into our true power and shine our light as bright as we possibly can, and let nothing deter that, let nothing hold us back, and allow us to walk with you. Father, guide us and show us the way we will follow. Thank you for everything. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
That was beautiful, bro.
All right. Thank you, sir. Awesome.
I just want to say, Viv, please reach out to the community for support and reach out to me if you need me. I'm definitely here if you want to have a conversation. I feel you. So just want to say that. And I don't want to speak for everyone, but after this amazing call, I feel like I don't think a single person in this room would not be open to, supporting you with some love and some conversation. So I just wanted to say
I appreciate that so much. And I just discovered you guys. And so I'm learning. Can you tell me what the time zone is? Like what time zone are we in? Like when you post, what does that mean?
Central time.
Central?
Mm-hmm.
Central? Oh, Central. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Is it weekly?
So yeah, my call is every Thursday at 8 p.m. And I also wanted to give Zach and Derek and Mateo just a few short minutes to share about their classes. Zach, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, I will, and then I have to dip. I'm actually supposed to be on a call right now. Yeah, just nesting in Viv's share. The perfect piece is we were literally just talking about how to filter people like that in the community. So thank you so much again. And I am available as well for a talk if you desire. But yeah, my call is yesterdays on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. same time. And I do a space called Dating Better, where we just talk about that as a community, because we want to avoid and try to diffuse and situations that are, yeah, what does dating actually mean these days, and how do we orient ourselves towards relationships from this new like inner work standpoint that we're all in, trying to elevate our own consciousness. And so yeah, dating is kind of taken an interesting turn, and for most people, and we're struggling to find a new process that works for us. And so it's just a place where we gather and talk about different processes that might work for us and some of our experiences. And so all is welcome.
Yeah, Mateo, if you want to go next, buddy. Yeah, feel free to dip, Zach.
You guys, my frequency that I'm holding for the tribe is to make sure we don't get too heady with all this sitting here and talking to each other through screens, and make sure that we remember our bodies and come back to our bodies and care for our bodies, because really it starts with ourself. It starts with this physical vehicle, and sometimes we got to move, sometimes we got to release. I like that we're breathing, but my classes are about that, about caring for your body so that you can show up and tribe as the best version of yourself. Currently, what we have going on is a Sunday fascia release class. If you've never done fascia release before, it turns out all your bullshit, it's like stored in your body somewhere. And it's very important to take the time and learn how to release it yourself, because you can actually do it yourself. It's actually really not that hard. We just are never taught. We don't take the time to really do it the right way. And it's there's a lot of things I could teach, a lot of things I could bring, but when I prayed, like, this came through as the thing that the world needs most. So I really hope that I can sell it enough so that you just show up and try it once, because once you do, you're going to want to keep coming back. It's the kind of thing that once you feel like, oh, wow, I can release my own tension myself just by laying on a ball and breathing, and I feel like a whole new person, like, you'll want to do more of it. So yeah, that's my class. Sundays, 2 p.m. If you guys want the link, just let me know.
Can you just put it in the chat?
I will.
Thank you,
There,
guys.
in there, pass the mic. Here it is.
What? Were you talking to me?
Yes, sir. Take us home.
Okay, so what's good, everybody? So I posted the link to the Facebook group. If y'all are not in the Facebook group, that's where we will be posting all of these classes and the next classes that come. So I posted it right here in this chat. My call is Monday nights at 8 p.m. and it's a silent meditation Zoom call, as well as goal setting. And then we sprinkle in some gratitudes at the end. It has been absolutely beautiful. The people that have shown up there it's been amazing. So yeah, if you're free for that, let me know if you want to get added to the group chat for that as well. Or you can just join the Facebook group. You'll see the notification for it if you just look through it. So yeah, y'all are all amazing. So happy to be on this call. I've met a couple new people on this call that I've never met before, and for that I'm extremely grateful. And just for everybody dropping freaking bombs, and for Kevin's leadership, his patient, heart opening and heart centered leadership, which is just so good. And yeah, thank y'all. You're all freaking awesome.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Derek. I appreciate you, buddy. This would not be possible without you bringing us all together. So hats off to you, bro.
Right back at you, bro. Right back at you. And yeah, I'm gonna drop. Don't close it out yet, because I'm gonna drop the. I'm gonna drop the Monday chat in the group.
Put it in the Facebook chat as well.
Which? Oh yeah, his Facebook chat. Got it. I'll do that too. But I also got it, so I'm dropping it right now.
Yeah, drop it now, love.
Dropped.
Awesome. Yeah, I really think
It's dropped.
all you guys are showing up. This has been awesome.
Thank
good
you
to
so
see you,
much for
Meredith.
hosting. Yeah, you too, Kevin.
We're in the same position. I'm in Lubbock, so I feel.
Ooh, I don't even know. Yeah. Good thing. Rural Texas.
Yeah.
Nice to meet all of you guys. Thanks for having
All
me
right.
suddenly out of the blue. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
glad you showed up.
There was some heat that was said tonight. Like, people, I mean, I kind of like would love to have the recording of this. For some of that audio was just legendary. So yeah.
Yeah, Jamie,
Yeah,
keep
that
it
was
with
epic.
your
We
friends.
recorded that, right?
Yes, yes.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah.
I want to
so
listen back to
good.
that. There was things said there that I need to hear more than once.
Definitely.
So where did these show up? In the Facebook group?
Yeah, we'll post them on the Facebook group. We'll post them in clips, but if you guys want me to send over the entire recording, I'm happy to do that. Just shoot me a message.
Hey, Kevin.
Yes, ma'am.
Over the past like week, I've learned about all of these amazing groups, and I'm a little like, what's your group? Like, what group? When they say they're gonna post it to a group, which group is that? I don't know where I found this.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot.
I put a link to the Facebook group
Yeah, in the chat.
inside of the chat. Do you see the chat, Viv?
Oh, is this the one that the Tribe Live?
Yeah.
Can I share our little intro video?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see that. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna give you.
That's different than what's the guy that just left? He had a different group.
Yeah, I'll shoot you a message on Facebook and I'll send you his chat.
So
Oh.
yeah, be clear, just to clarify, all of our classes we're combining into this one community called Tribe Live. And
Okay.
yeah, I'll drop the branding for it and everything here soon.
Are you dropping the logo video that you
I really
made?
want to. You need to share the screen with me though.
Oh, all right. How do I give you the screen?
And then we'll close out on that.
So
Make him a
dope.
co-host.
Okay, you're the host. Change you to the host. You are now the host.
Or you can make him a co-host.
All right, y'all ready for this?
Let's go.
This is what
Do it.
you guys are doing right now. This is what you guys are a part of. Let me see if I can make it so you guys can see the screen, but see your faces. There we go. Still 12 seconds. Transform your mind, body, heart, soul, relationships, and community. So there's our branding. That's the name of the group. The links can be found, and hope to see you guys in there.
Oh, so good.
Fire.
That was cool.
Beautiful. So I'm gonna ask a stupid question. This is different from Zach's group, right? You just overlap, but it's a different thing. Yes?
This is
Kind of
this
containers
is a different
within
call.
larger containers, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This deep call will be one class. My class will be a Sunday class. Derek has his Monday class, and then Zach is holding kind of the relationship frequency for us to drop into.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah,
check
just
it
think
out.
of it like a tree. It's like a tree, right? With branches, different branches on the tree.
I
That's
see.
it.
Okay. Yeah, that's helpful. That's great. Thank you.
Well, all right.
Bringing more people in the mix soon. You know?
Yes, invite your friends. And yeah, thank you guys. I think that about wraps it up. But looking forward to continuing on this journey with every single one of you.
Hey, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Jamie,
See
for
y'all
inviting.
later.
Can you